The Toronto Raptors play the Chicago Bulls tonight. Hopefully it'll be a good game. But this is a perfect time to look back at this very random 11-game losing streak for the Toronto Raptors during some of the best seasons in franchise history.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have traditionally random players, random teams that are Raptors Killers. So we'll start with the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, this is the start of a new series on the Raptors Digest, Raptor Killers. And the origins of this serial killer team against the Toronto Raptors happened.
Now, noted, okay, just before we even start, noted the Chicago Bulls during this 11-game losing streak weren't a bad Chicago Bulls team. We had Jimmy Butler in his prime. We had the Derrick Rose squad that was fairly good. But it's the randomness from players that you wouldn't expect to step up or that don't have good season averages but happen to shine against the Raptors is sort of the uniqueness is what we'll be talking on today.
Yeah. So. Anyone that's followed the Raptors knows the Chicago Bulls just always seem to kill us. And this began February 19th of 2014. Yep. This was the DJ Augustine revenge game, so to speak. You know, they still had their good players. Like Jimmy Butler had himself a nice game. Carlos Boozer at the time, remember he was the Chicago Bull, had himself a...
For anybody that doesn't remember good old Carlos Boozer, we have the man most infamous for spray painting on his hair.
The spray paint hair. Love it. This is the DJ Augustine revenge game, though. Yep. We picked him up, supposed to be a great backup point guard for us. Didn't really...
Maybe an all-right backup point guard.
Yeah, well, he's supposed to be a good one for the team. He didn't pan out for the Raptors. We waived him.
Yep.
And he came back and scored 19 points on us off the bench.
Yeah.
That was the start of the random players that just really started to kill us.
Yeah.
But, you know, the next season through 2014 and 2015, that season, the Bulls had a really good team. You know, they had Pau Gasol, Jimmy Butler, D Rose, and Joakim Noah, right? And we lost 4 games to the Bulls that season. But they weren't.
Was that all? So we got swept in the season.
Yeah, we got swept in the season series. 0-4. That's a reasonable team to lose to. Now we were a good team, so it's weird that we lost all of the games.
This was during our first year of our playoff run.
2013-2014 was the season we traded Rudy Gay and really became the third seed.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes, this was our first full season. Yeah. It was the Washington Wizards season. Rough season, but it was a good regular season.
Okay.
Good regular season. But the Bulls had a good team.
Yep.
They always had good players, but the real X factor during the season was Tony Snell.
Yeah.
Right? Tony Snell, he had two of the 4 games, he was just his average self. But he also went off for a 22-point game during that season and a 17-point game.
Yeah. Now, once again, like for like a DeMar DeRozan, 22 points is nothing. But for a random player like Tony Snell, to decide to go off against the Raptors, it is sad.
Yeah. Well, everyone, you know, all people are always tweeting us whenever we throw out trade scenarios or whatever. Like, yo, we should get Tony Snell. Because whenever he plays the Raptors,
that's all
he's phenomenal.
That's the benchmark that we have.
Yeah. The dude's not a good player.
No,
he's okay. He's not awful.
Well, but he starts on the Bucks now, so
but he's
he's found a career for himself. But I mean, on the Bulls,
he's definitely an NBA player.
I mean, he's no better than Terrence Ross. And
that's the.
I don't like Terrence Ross, so like,
so
to be desired.
So you know that 2014-2015 season, that's a bit reasonable. It gets a bit shaky when we move into 2015-2016. Yeah. Right? They still had a good roster. D Rose was this season. He was injured. Really injured. D Rose.
Yeah, really injured D Rose.
This was the rise of the real Raptors killers. Just the super random ones.
Yeah.
Doug McDermott, starting on in February this month, for the rest of his Bulls days during this streak against the Raptors.
Dougie McBuckets.
He averaged 24 points per game against the Toronto Raptors. A 30-point game, a 29-point game, a 17-point game, and a 20-point game. Yeah. His next games against the Raptors.
And his season average was he was a bench player.
Yeah.
So his season average was probably only less than 10 points per game.
Yeah.
He just stepped up against the Raptors, but
yeah. And another random guy, Nikola Mirotic, who's been phenomenal this season. We'll see how he does tonight.
Yeah. He's hot or cold.
Yeah.
And Toronto, I guess, makes him hot.
Yeah. The cold air makes him hot. He averaged, excluding one game in his whole Bulls career during this streak, excluding one game where D Rose went off. D Rose, Powell, and Jimmy Butler combined for 68 points.
Yeah.
Nikola Mirotic averages 17.4 points per game during this streak. Now that's just ridiculous.
I mean, like I said, he's a hot or cold player, and he just decides to step up his game against the Raptors squad. And it's unfortunate to see, especially players that it's pretty easy. But it's when we have people like DeMar Carroll that just give up on the rotations and leave people like Nikola Mirotic wide open for threes. And if they're only 3-point shooters, like what do you expect's going to happen? But oh well, those days are, knock on wood.
Hopefully they're over.
Yeah.
And one last thing on this 2015-16 season. The Raptors looked like they were going to get one of these games here. Right? I don't know if you remember this game. I'm pretty sure most Raptors fans do. Yeah. The Raptors held Jimmy Butler to 2 points for a half on January 3rd of 2016. Right around this time.
It was exactly this time.
2 years ago now. Crazy. Felt like it was just like yesterday. Jimmy Butler was lighting up the Raptors, but he only had 2 points at the half, right? Raptors looked really good, right? They had a nice 8-point lead. They had control of the game right at the half, and Jimmy Butler said no. He scored 40 points in the second half, breaking any Michael Jordan's records for a scoring and a half. Yeah, that
he actually did.
That's. I can't even speak about that. I'm still sad about it. Right? You think you're gonna break this long losing streak,
and they went to steal the game by 2 ultimately. But I mean, he's at that. Advance to the next season. I mean, January seems to be his month. He had another 42-point game, more averaged out throughout the game. But he's a player you expect to get a high amount of points, but he certainly elevated his game to the highest level when you play against the Raptors, which is.
It's just always sad.
Yeah.
Right?
sad.
Doug McDermott, Tony Snell, Nikola Mirotic, Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
All Raptors killers. We couldn't just make one video on these guys.
It's the team.
And
then we finally, if you want to speak to the game that we did beat the Bulls, it was looking.
Wait, we beat the Bulls?
You know what? And we would have had another player added to this list, Rajon Rondo, who everybody knows, terrific passer. Yeah. Kind of had a weird career after leaving Boston, but I mean, he nearly killed us with his 3-point game.
Yeah.
We had a miraculous comeback win.
Yeah. Well, you're speaking on it. It wasn't the Raptors that ended this streak. It was the Toronto Huskies.
The Huskies
that ended this streak. So for this game, right? The Huskies versus the Bulls. Mm-hmm. Very, very to the just a regular Raptors Bulls game. Mm-hmm. Toronto's down. They went down by about 16. They were around 16, 14.
Probably because DeMar Carroll was guarding the key players.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler had 37 points in this game. Yep. Someone random went off. Rajon Rondo hit 24 points, 4 threes. Just a classic Bulls game, right? Raptors Bulls game. And then something happened. I don't know if people remember that this was the game, but Serge Ibaka and Robin Lopez got into that huge fight.
They beefed,
there was fists thrown. Both were ejected in the third quarter.
Pretty lame fights. No UFC Fight Night highlights.
There was pretty. There was some. There was some.
No John Bones Jones.
Good NBA fight though.
Because you don't see it very often. Yeah. But it was just like ear grazers. It's kind of weird. But continue.
Yeah, so, just a classic Bulls game. Toronto even was down a little bit after the fight, too. They dug themselves. They were down by 16.
Yeah.
Right? And then the start of Raptors' love for Fred VanVleet, Casey's love for Fred VanVleet. If people don't remember.
Your love for Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, my love for Fred VanVleet. Lowry was out the second half of the season, so he obviously didn't play in this game. Mm-hmm. So Kojo was starting in this game, and DeLon assumed the backup point guard position for most of this time. But Casey decided to switch things up at the end of the game, throw Fred in. He only had 6 points. But this rotation shift really changed the game for the Toronto Raptors. They went on a huge run, right? DeMar was hitting and ones. They brought it back. The game ended up going into OT after DeMar got an and one at the end of the game to tie it. Well, he had the free throw to almost win the game. He missed the shot, front rim. And then he got another chance at it. and decided to take a 3, which is weird for DeMar that season. The game went into OT, and the Raptors pulled it out to everyone's surprise.
Yep.
There was a scary moment with PJ Tucker at the end, though.
Yeah, well, the conspiracy that he's a rogue agent, he threw the ball, he threw the ball just right to Rajon Rondo, brought the game in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've had success now against the Bulls, more than after snapping the streak.
Yeah.
We're playing them tonight. They've been hot as of late, lost 2 games, but
still close games.
Close games, yeah, against good teams.
The
Washington
1-2 punch.
And what's the 1-2 punch?
The 1-2 punch. Bobby Portis and Nikola Mirotic.
The literal 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
That's my roast of Mirotic, is that Bobby Portis just did what everybody else on the Bulls wanted him to do. But I mean, funny enough, they've been playing well together.
Yeah. Nikola Mirotic is averaging 18 points per game so far this season.
Best player on their team, though, Lauri Markkanen. There's 2 teams in the NBA. This is so impressive. 2 teams in the NBA where their best player is their rookie. And Bulls have an atrocious record. So, I mean, it's easier to believe that Lauri Markkanen can lead the team. But the Utah Jazz are a playoff contender. Donovan Mitchell is doing amazing. He's playing like a vet.
The Jazz have fallen off a little bit as of late.
Are they out of the playoffs?
Yeah, but they're still a good team, obviously.
Right.
But
that's just an interesting fact.
And you're forgetting a third team.
OG
for the Toronto Raptors.
I mean,
you can't disrespect God like that.
You can't. No, of course not. He's not leading the team, but he's the guidance to the team. Yeah,
he just owns basketball.
He's everything. He's everything and beyond. But I mean, we should handle the Bulls. There's really no reason to worry about this game. But if we do,
it should be a hard fought game though, with how the Bulls have been playing.
It'll be I mean, we got to look to shut down Portis, Mirotic, and Markkanen. But I mean, if we do lose, it'll probably be some random back end player like Felicio that ruins us.
Classic. We didn't even mention Felicio this pod. But the Raptors ended off on a happy note. As you said, we've won the last 3. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can go on an 11-game winning streak now.
I would hope we can.
That's the dream.
I believe we can.
Well, anyways, everyone, thanks for listening. Hopefully the Raptors get the win tonight.
Yeah.
And let's hope for a Raptors huge winning streak against the Chicago Bulls.
Hey yo.